I'll tell you what. If you live in these cities, you'd have to be getting tired of this, wouldn't you? I mean, don't you want your life just to go on like normal and all these?
Yeah, like getting that unemployment check. It stopped.
Yeah.
Now I've got to do something.
Oh, goodness gracious. You got to do something. Got to find something to do to make some money. Well, yeah, we wanted to start out with Chicago because that's the big news this morning and kind of woke us all up this morning. When we got up, we saw the news out of Chicago, some crazy riots going on in Chicago. I've got a couple of friends in Chicago. They were messaging me and saying, you got to talk about this. They're absolutely losing control of the city. And that's a pretty amazing statement. I mean, people that are committed city dwellers are saying, this is getting out of hand. And, it's styled up as some kind of protest. But what protest results in you going and throwing bricks through the windows at luxury goods stores and then running in and stealing a bunch of stuff? How is that a peaceful protest? I mean, in protest, don't you carry signs and try and win people over to your side of the cause, whatever the cause is? Say, hey, this is terrible. What happened here? Here's my sign, and
and look at all of us who feel this way.
Yeah, and you're trying to win people over. But I'm not sure who you're going to win over, except the Marxists. The Marxists want this. They say destroy capitalism, destroy the system, take the whole thing down, burn it all down. That's their mentality, and that's who they're appealing to. And so what we had happen in Chicago last night started about a little after midnight, with some low-grade looting that started at Saks Fifth Avenue in the Coach store as people started throwing bricks through those windows and trying to rush in there. And you had some police response to that. Police came down. Well, then things got kind of out of control to the point where shots started being fired at the police. They couldn't really pinpoint where they were coming from, but they were returning fire.
Good.
You would expect that, wouldn't you? You can't shoot at the police. They're going to shoot back at you. And we need some degree of law and order.
We do.
And so we need there to be some consequences. Now, obviously, we don't want open gunfire in the streets. But what's the big deal about this, if you don't know Chicago's geography really well, this is not uncommon in the South Side for there to be shootings and just generally, and in the West Side. There's a lot of shootings, a lot of violence, and it's very common. But once you get inside the loop in Chicago, it is extremely safe. Mm-hmm. There is no violence. They don't allow it. Violent people don't tend to come into the loop. The loop is the chain of interstates that kind of surrounds downtown. And once you're inside that loop, you're in downtown Chicago. That's where all the business goes on. That's where all the people work who have these big-time jobs in Chicago. Like
Magnificent Mile.
The Magnificent Mile, a lot of money down there, unbelievable amount of money.
Oh, it's beautiful, too.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have the South Side, that's dangerous, the West Side, the Sharks and the Jets, and, sorry, West Side Story, I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. And so we usually expect the tourism is going to be in the loop, and it's going to be safe there.
Sure. And that's when they breach the loop, now bad things are starting to happen. And that's what happened last night. So we had shots fired. We had a security guard who was shot in the stomach. Luckily, none of the police were shot. It looks like the security guard is going to be okay, but, you never know. I'm sure going to be okay when you're shot in the stomach means you live, right? I'm sure there's going to be after effects to having a bullet go through your stomach. Probably messes up your stomach and your intestine, whatever it hits as it passes through. You're in deep trouble. So a lot of this stuff really escalated just before 5 o'clock this morning, and it got to the point where they raised the bridges so that nobody could get into or out of the loop. They closed down the expressway lanes in and out of Chicago. They cut off all bus and train service in and out of downtown Chicago. And so the end result of that is this morning people were waking up. Nobody in Chicago can go into work today because all that's been shut down because of these crazy riots with active gunfire going on. And that was what was going on in Chicago. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.